The New Zealand Blood Service is facing a serious shortage with a 25% decrease in young people donating since COVID-19. Today marks the start of NZ Blood Week. Joining me now is the NZ Blood CEO Sam Cliff and donor recipient Matt Hoyle. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you both here. We'll talk about the young people, what's going on with that in just a second. But Matt, tell us, why do you need blood and how often do you need to get it?
So I have a condition called common variable immunodeficiency. I was actually diagnosed in 2021, so a bit of an interesting time to receive a diagnosis like that. Basically, my body doesn't produce adequate numbers of antibodies and isn't able to respond to infection properly. You can kind of think of getting the infusions almost like borrowing someone else's immune system. Getting their defences. So every week I do an infusion of immunoglobulin, which is all the good stuff to hopefully offer me greater protection, allow me to kind of live a more normal life and get out there and do things and be less worried about infection and the risks that come along with that.
My brothers have a similar condition, were diagnosed quite young. Were you diagnosed quite late with this?
From what I understand, quite a few people are diagnosed, around their mid-30s. But it's, one of those things where it's a progressive condition. So you might feel like you're fine and everything's working, and then for myself, just started to go downhill a little bit, needed some help. And very fortunately got the diagnosis that I needed. And
the transfusions are absolutely essential, aren't they? They're life-saving.
Yes. So, for myself, it's been an absolute life-changing experience to have the infusions. I, suffered from long-term and recurrent bronchitis, strep throat. I've had sinus surgeries to fix the growth of polyps up there as a result of repeated infection, and now with the infusions I'm able to get back to things and hopefully not deal with that. And people with my condition, if not treated properly, the outcomes of things like pneumonia, bronchiectasis or lung conditions is quite high.
Yeah.
And the fact that I've gotten treatment earlier, before things got worse, means that it's, hopefully a much better outcome for me. So I'm incredibly grateful to be able to receive treatment for sure.
And to the people who donate. Sam, on that, where are we at in terms of what the level of donation that we need?
We pretty well hold our own, Ryan. I mean, we have never failed to deliver, and as long as I'm here, we will never fail to deliver. The issue that we have is several-fold, really. Conditions like Matt has require plasma donations. So it's not just the whole blood, the red stuff that we're normally used to, it's plasma. Now the demand for those products is going up 10% year on year on year from clinicians and the patients of New Zealand. That's a heavy demand to keep up with.
Why is it going up 10% a year?
Earlier diagnosis, more diagnosis, and also because it's a really very useful product. The immunoglobulin that Matt was referring to can treat a really wide variety of conditions. It keeps people well and it saves their lives, pure and simple. So we need to keep up with that demand either by collecting as much plasma as we possibly can and manufacturing it, or by importing plasma from overseas to top up when we can't get enough. So we do need more donors, there's no doubt about that. We want all eligible people to really consider donating, and we thank each and every one of our eligible donors that come in regardless of age. I know we've been focusing quite a lot on youth donation. During COVID, we took a bit of a hit. Most first-time donors start in high school or at university. Obviously, schools and universities closed or online, so therefore they didn't get that exposure. So people who are now in their sort of early to mid-20s may have missed out. We've got a generation, a cohort of young people who may not have thought of donation. So we really want to encourage people to think, actually, this is something I want to do.
We have a lot of young people on our Herald TikTok page who watch a lot of these videos. So what is your pitch to them? Maybe Matt, you would like to speak to them and ask, because there's obviously a bit of a gap there with this missing generation, as it were. What would you like to say to them?
Firstly, thank you, and people like myself But now, speaking for myself, I'm eternally grateful. It's a completely selfless thing for someone to do, that they could do in an afternoon that changes the life of everyone that impacts. I'm able to live the life that I can because they're, making this selfless act of donating blood, and it's a humbling thing to experience, and it's something that I cannot give enough thanks for ever. So I'd just say, if you want to have a great impact on people's lives, if you want to be able to do something that you could literally just take a little break from work, go donate blood, and you have done something that will impact everyone that comes across. It could be saving someone's life in an emergency situation, or it could be someone like myself who relies on the kindness of strangers to exist. So, it's up to them, and I'm incredibly, incredibly grateful for every donation.
Absolutely. Well, really appreciate you coming on the program and spreading this message. Now, we should get across, Sam, perhaps you can help with this. Where do people go if they would like to donate or like to find out more?
Best thing to do is go onto our website, nzherald.co.nz, and have a look at that. You can do an eligibility test to see if you're eligible. If you are eligible, there's a way that you can book appointments, allow a bit of extra time if it's your first appointment, and our lovely, wonderful staff will take you through a very gentle process.
Brilliant. Really appreciate you both coming in,
Thank you.
Sam and Matt. Great to have you here. That's Sam Cliff, the NZ Blood CEO, and Matt Hoyle,